In April 1986, a 19-year-old freshman named Jeanne Clery was asleep in her dorm room at Lehigh University. She thought she was safe. She thought the heavy steel doors of her residence hall were a barrier between her and the outside world. But what Jeanne didn't know, and what her parents were never told, was that in the 3 years leading up to that night, 38 violent incidents had occurred on that same campus. None of them were reported to the students. That night, a fellow student entered through 3 separate doors that had been propped open. He found Jeanne's room unlocked. That tragic encounter led to her life being taken in a way that changed campus safety forever. Jeanne's passing led to the creation of the Clery Act, a federal law that forces universities to tell the truth about campus safety. But today, in 2026, we are discovering that the law hasn't stopped the occurrences. It has only made the redaction game more sophisticated. Every year, students vanish from their dorms. Lifeless bodies and remains are discovered in stairwells and unexpected locations. And almost every time, the official narrative is the same: an isolated incident, no foul play, case closed. Today, we are investigating the unseen shadows in the dorms. We are looking at the 2025 Mississippi incident that officials labeled as self-harm within hours, the University of Minnesota traces that were scrubbed before the investigators arrived, and the terrifying reality of why your tuition money is being used to manage the truth. To understand why a university would hide a tragic loss, you have to understand the business of higher education. By 2026, U.S. colleges have become multi-billion-dollar corporations. Their most valuable asset isn't their research or their professors, it's their safety rating. A high incident rate means lower enrollment, and lower enrollment means a loss of millions in federal funding and tuition. The Clery Act was supposed to be the solution. It requires any institution receiving federal aid to publish an annual security report. If they fail to comply, the Department of Education can impose significant fines. But administrators have found a way around the law. One of the biggest loopholes is the unfounded classification. According to federal regulations, a university can remove a reported incident from its statistics if an officer determines the report is false or baseless. Investigative reports have shown that universities often pressure campus authorities to label suspicious passings as unfounded or accidents to keep the numbers low. Furthermore, universities frequently use FERPA, the Family Educational and Privacy Act, as a shield. Originally designed to protect student grades, FERPA is now used to withhold details about fateful incidents under the guise of student privacy. When remains are found in a dorm, the university doesn't have to say who it was or how the life was lost. They simply send a vague email about community support and let the rumors die on Reddit. In late 2025, a case in Mississippi sent shockwaves through the community. A 21-year-old Delta State University student named Trey Reed was found in a fateful state on campus. He was an outstanding student, well-liked, and according to his friends, he had no history of mental distress. Within hours of the discovery of his remains, before a formal examination was even conducted, university officials issued a statement: "No evidence of foul play, loss by self-harm." Trey's family was devastated and suspicious. They claimed that the university prioritized its public image over a real investigation. They alleged that the school even provided conflicting information to Trey's mother regarding where he had been found. While the community was in mourning, the university carried on with the weekend's events as if nothing had happened. This is a recurring pattern in what researchers call rebranded tragedies. When a minority student is found in such a state under suspicious circumstances, the self-harm label is often applied with lightning speed. It prevents a deep dive investigation into campus culture or potential external factors. By ruling it such, the case is technically resolved, and the university's safety statistics remain unblemished by a fateful incident count. In November 2025, another disturbing incident occurred at the University of Minnesota. Around 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday, authorities were called to a residence hall for a person in crisis. Reports from witnesses and posts on anonymous apps claimed that a student had been severely injured in a stairwell and that there were signs of a struggle at the scene. Rumors went wild. Students expected an immediate campus-wide notification, but the university stayed silent for days. When they finally spoke, they cited student privacy laws. They claimed no student had passed away that weekend, yet they refused to provide any details about the incident that left a person hospitalized. The concern among students wasn't just about the person who was hurt, it was about the lack of transparency. When a university refuses to disclose the nature of an emergency in a public space, it creates an environment of concern. This medical detail defense is the ultimate redaction tool. By calling everything a crisis, administrators can avoid reporting incidents that involve assault or stalking. If a student is pushed, but the university calls it a crisis, it doesn't show up on the report as a violent attack. The truth is often buried in records that are legally inaccessible. These patterns of silence aren't new, they're just getting harder to track. In 1999, Michael Negretti, a gifted freshman at UCLA, was gaming in his dorm room until 4 a.m. He high-fived his friend, walked towards his own room, and simply vanished. He left behind his shoes, his wallet, and his future. To this day, UCLA has provided almost no answers regarding his disappearance. At Yale, the 1998 tragic loss of Suzanne Joven, who suffered a fateful assault, saw the university focus its entire investigation on a single individual. Even after evidence cleared him, the school's initial handling of the case left the true perpetrator free to walk. Years later, details emerged pointing to another responsible party who matched the profile. But by the time the pieces were put together, that person was no longer available to answer for the act. In 2026, the silence has gone digital. Universities now monitor social media feeds for keywords related to campus incidents. When a student posts a photo of an ambulance or a secure line, university reputation management teams often reach out to have the post removed. They use legal frameworks to silence student journalists who ask too many questions. The goal is a sterilized campus, a place that looks perfect in the brochure but hides a history of secrets beneath the surface. From hazing incidents that are ruled as accidents to serious assaults that are reclassified as conduct violations, the modern university has become a master of the invisible ledger. We go to college to find our future, but for some, the dorm room becomes the end of the journey. The Clery Act was meant to give us the truth, but in the hands of a large bureaucracy, the truth is just another variable to be managed. If you want to help us shed light on these hidden shadows, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an archive entry. Your engagement helps the algorithm push these stories to more people who need to hear them. What mystery should we declassify next? We are listening to your suggestions. Let us know in the comments what topics you want us to investigate. But the silence of the dorms isn't the only mystery being managed by powerful interests. If you think the cover-ups on our campuses are unsettling, you need to see our investigation into the Bermuda Triangle, Secret Files of the Underwater Area 51.